All right, happy Friday rolling out. This is your host, Crystal Jordan, and we are back with another reality check on a Friday night. You guys know that we are recapping so many of OWN's amazing reality shows, and we've only just started with the first season of Love and Marriage DC. But this season has got off to an amazing start. We had a conversation with Monique a few weeks ago, and tonight we are honored to have the very beautiful Ashley Silva in the building. So please help me welcome Ashley from Love and Marriage DC.
Hi.
Hey,
Thanks for
Ashley,
having
how are
me.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on a Friday night. Our viewers love to stay up and kind of check in on some late night conversations. So
Yeah.
I'm sure after seeing the second part of the reunion that aired this past weekend, last weekend, people are really excited to hear what you have to say about all the season and, of course, that reunion.
The reunion was a reunion, okay?
Well, we have come to know Carlos King for delivering reunions that are definitely worth tuning into. But I have to start before I get into that. I will say you looked absolutely beautiful. That
Oh,
green
thank
was given life. It was beautiful.
you.
And I think you carried yourself with a lot of grace and a lot of respect, even though you were very honest and very open and very direct about
Mhm.
the issues. So
Thank you. Very direct.
yes,
Thank you.
yes, with your receipts, but still classy. I love the fact that you kept it classy. You really kept it about the issues. And a lot of
Mhm.
times on reunions, we see people make personal digs and, come back with a different type of attack on the person's character. But you were
Yeah.
very, very clear on defending your husband, defending your marriage. And there was just a lot happening. First
Yeah.
of all, how was this season? How was this first season for you? Because we know that your husband, DJ Quicksilver, is in the public eye. He's a very big DJ. I've known of him for years doing parties and a lot of celebrity type events. But for you guys both to get on this show and kind of share your relationship and all
Mhm.
the things that we didn't see besides him spinning, how has
Yeah.
it been for you this past season with joining the cast?
Um, it wasn't really difficult for us to be open. For years I've had a podcast, so I've talked about my relationship, my marriage. Before that, I had a blog years ago that I was always really open and honest about.
Mhm.
So I've always been someone who was open about my relationship, about the good, the bad, all of it. So it was just another layer to it now with being on TV. And the only difference is, instead of, just my followers who
Mhm.
I had before, chiming in or whatever, now it's, anybody in the world, somebody in Mississippi is like, now they can tell me about my life. And I'm like, okay, all
Yeah.
right, that's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be a kind of like a culture shock, but the good thing is you were already in the process of sharing, which I think is courageous.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about the Love and Marriage series is that you actually have couples that really have proven that they're serious about marriage.
Mhm.
On a lot of other shows, and those shows will remain nameless, you see people that have been married like 1 or 2 years, and then, the show makes them actually break down. They end up breaking up or their marriage are separated because they go through it. But you guys actually have been married for 13 years. Arena and Jamie have been married for like 26 years. Like these are
Yeah.
real marriages, and you guys have been able to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Do
That's
you
and that's not easy, you know what I mean? And I think that when people watch these shows and they see that we're having problems or whatever, they're like, "Oh my God, you're having problems and you've been together all this time." It's like if you ever meet someone and they're telling you they don't have problems in their marriage, they are lying to you.
right,
They're
right.
lying.
Especially at that level. Like if you've been married a year,
Yeah. Or maybe even not, because I will honestly say, and I remember my first year of marriage,
Mhm.
people telling me your first year is going to be hard, and my first year of marriage was hard, and I will tell people that too. I mean, it's just I don't know what it is that makes it hard to just with switches or snaps, but to make that commitment with someone in their lives. I've told people I've known Quick since I was a teenager. We got engaged when I was 21 years old. We got married when I was 23. I am not the same person I was when I agreed to marry him at 21. He's not the same person that he was. Our lives have changed dramatically. We went from no kids to two kids to two kids and a dog to a townhouse to a big house. Like all these things, like life changes, and with every different obstacle, we have changed as people, and it brings new problems or new gifts and new curses. And, you roll with the punches and you decide to grow together and roll with them together. And that
Yeah.
don't mean that every day won't be easy.
No, it probably won't be easy, but like I said, you have to give it up, tip your hat to the fact that these couples really are committed to love and marriage.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it different. Your husband talked a little bit about, especially on the reunion, he talked a little bit about his background prior to you guys meeting. And it explained, at least to me, it made it a little bit more, clear why he was, is the way he is, why he had issues with this, sharing emotion, and why he was so dependent, on your love and you being that support system. What was going on in your life when you guys met? Besides being attracted to, Quick, what were your dreams? What did you want to do at 21 years old when you got married and decided to kind of put that on the back burner?
So when I first moved in with him, I was working working at a furniture store in the office department, and I had just graduated from a broadcasting program. When about 2-3 months after I moved in with him, I got a job at like this talk rock radio station. It was like talk rock and sports. It was so not me, but I was like, I just wanted to get my foot in the door however I could. So that was one of my first jobs in like entertainment. I had to like go and like set up for an event and at these bars and all this stuff. So it was an experience. It wasn't about me, but it was an experience. But my dreams were, I wanted to have my own talk show. I've always loved entertainment. I always knew I would do something in entertainment, whether it was acting or having a talk show, or, if I was going to write for a magazine, it was going to be something in entertainment, because that's literally my first love. It's like one of the things I don't have to really work hard at. It's like so natural for me to do that. And I even like on the other side of entertaining, like even at our house, we are always having something. I'm always making sure everybody's having a good time and having fun. It's literally one of my biggest passions in life. So that was my dream. My dream was I wanted to be this big media mogul, and I guess like an Oprah, like have a talk show. But then if I wanted to act in a movie, it's like, okay, I'm gonna come act in a movie.
Okay.
And I mean, it's still on my radar to do things like that.
Yeah, well, it should be. I think God gives us second chances, and all the time. I could definitely attest to that. I had broadcast journalism dreams, got pregnant, got married in college, and was like, yeah, this may not be a good idea.
Yeah.
And you just never, then I was like, I just never thought that the opportunity to do this kind of thing would come back so much later in life, because growing up, we were taught you have to do that stuff when you're very, very young. Have changed. So I think that you're definitely, whatever is for you is definitely finding you, and it seems like it's definitely on the way now. Is that one of the things that attracted you to Quick? The fact that he too had, entertainment, was kind of in that same vein?
I don't, it may have been subconsciously, but not really. Quick at the time had really long hair. And he had like really long dreads, and I love them. So yeah, when it comes, so him DJing, yes, he was a great DJ. At the time, he had just started, I think, on being an on-air personality. He's much better now than he was back then. But yeah, I mean, subconsciously, maybe it was because Quick and I do have a lot in common, and that is one of the things that helps our relationship, is that we enjoy a lot of the same things. We are very different as well, but we at the core of us, we enjoy a lot of the same things.
Yeah. Well, I think you can see that, and especially because you guys have been through a lot. But I want to play this clip from the reunion. I had a hard time picking clips because there are so many really good clips, but I want to play this clip and talk a little bit about this conversation after we see that. Let's watch a clip from the Love and Marriage DC reunion, of course, hosted by the one and only Carlos.
Quick, do you feel like you gave up your life to make Quick the success that he is?
I definitely feel like that.
Answer, yes. I'm sorry. Sorry, babe.
We got engaged. I was 21 years old. I had to grow up super fast. My friends were still in college. They were all partying. I had a house and a husband and kids. And I wasn't able to go out and do those things for myself. I've always had to be Quick's motivator, his cheerleader, and then the person at home with the children. Yep. You know, Quick would leave and get up and go out of town, and nobody would say anything. And I would be like, well, you know, I want to take a class that starts at 3 o'clock. And people were like, well, who's going to watch the kids? And I'm like, that's really unfair.
Is that why you fell into depression?
Yeah, that's the biggest part of right after I had Ashton.
So I want to ask you, watching that clip, I want to ask you, what was it? Was it your upbringing? Was it your commit? What gave you that strong commitment to, even when you were going through all that, right? I'm not going to leave this marriage, because there's so many people, especially in today's world, that would have been like, you know what? This sucks. I'm out. I don't want to have to be his everything. It's obvious the relationship, there was a lot of, you did a lot of the heavy lifting, at least early on. So what was it that made you stay and remain committed to your marriage to get to see a better day?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I didn't have, like, my parents got divorced when I think I was 3. I don't have, neither of my aunt or my uncle are married. Like, so I didn't have anyone. My grandfather passed away before I was born. So I didn't get to, you know, grow up seeing like a marriage that you fight for. And I always knew, like, you know, that was something that was important to me. If I ever decided to get married, to start a family, that fighting for my family was very important. There has never, what I'm not going to sit here and say is there was never a time that I didn't think about walking away, because I did. I'm not going to sit here and say there wasn't a time when Quick thought about walking away, because I'm sure he did as well. But the thing with Quick and I, this is so, it's so corny. And I've even got people like, they're like, y'all act like, I mean, y'all relationship, sometimes y'all act like this is too good to be true and stuff like that. But Quick and I love the hell out of each other. Like, we really, you know, that is my, I hate saying like best friend, because my best friend gets jealous. But, you know, Quick is just my person. He is the person in my life. Like, we're supposed to be in each other's lives. I am someone who I believe in soulmates, all of that kind of stuff. And I just know, like, we were made to be together. You know, there's nobody else that could deal with me but Quick, and vice versa. And then it's so funny because I have an older sister, so we didn't really have to share or anything like that. But the few times we did have to share, you know, as a sibling thing, Quick, when I met Quick, him and my sister had they had the same date, birthday. Their birthday's the same day. And they are so much alike. And I felt like, okay, God, it was like already preparing me for you through my sister, because they are so similar. I just feel like that, you know, he's my guy. He's the person for me. Bruno, who's at the door? Okay, somebody must be at the door. So yeah, I mean, that's just where Bruno. What is it? Come here. Come on. Okay, relax. So yeah, Bruno. I don't know what he's looking at, but yeah, that's it for me, Quick. And you know, I don't, if me and Quick don't ever work out, I don't think I'll ever get married again. I don't think I can commit myself to someone the way that I've committed myself to this marriage. You know, but I love being married, and I love him. I love being married.
Did you know, like, how soon in your relationship did you know? Because, you know, at 21, what love feels like is so different. It's so intense, and it's so,
it's very much like infatuation.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I tell Quick that all the time. Like, I was so infatuated with him. You know, when we first met, I literally remember telling him when I was about 19 years old, I was like, we had like stopped talking for a while. And I was like, when we start talking again, you're going to want me to be your wife. And I told him, I was like, I'm going to say no. And I didn't. I should have said no. Sorry. But, you know, I mean, it did feel so different then. And now I look at it and I can see how people could say, like, you know, a lot of people didn't think that our marriage would last and things like that. And I can understand why people would think that because we were so young, because, you know, because of the type of career Quick was in. But we have made it work. And I am genuinely just so proud of us and so proud of our family. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people, maybe we don't brag enough on ourselves because that is something that it's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it is. I think, you know, the proof is in the pudding. There are very few people that get married that young that are able to remain together. I mean, that is usually like the curse. Everyone's like, oh my God, they got married too young. And so that's why I wanted to know, like, what was it about you? Because I feel as though my intuition suggests that you, Ashley, were the glue that kind of kept things together. And even the way he responds to you now, you can tell he really appreciates the sacrifices that you made early on, you know, in the relationship.
And I really appreciate that because I don't think in the beginning he understood that. You know, I wasn't working, so he was paying all the bills. He was taking care of everything. So he just felt basically like how a lot of men feel. You should be happy. You should be grateful. And it wasn't that I wasn't grateful because he did work so hard to take care of us, but it was like, sometimes I don't think he realized how much I did have to sacrifice and what all goes into raising, you know, a family, like taking care of a home, taking care of a grown man when they're sick or they're down or whatever it is. And once he started getting a taste of that, I think I got to the point where I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to wash these clothes.
Yeah.
See how you feel. Okay, I'm going to wake up in the morning before you wake up and I'm going to leave the house. And now you got to figure out, you know, the kids and all of that. You got to figure it out. And he would be calling my phone. Nope, I can't call nobody.
Right.
Who I call when I can't figure it out? So once I started doing stuff like that, you know, things started to change.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like the fact that both, you know, you spoke to it at the reunion and you and Monique have both said that's like, there's this idea that if a man is a provider, especially at a certain level, right? That not even just men, but even other women are like, oh girl, you should be good. You should have.
I got the most flack from women, women. And I, you know, whenever I would express like, you know, I'm upset that I can't take this position or I'm upset that I can't, you know, take this class or whatever it was. People would literally be like, girl, especially like older women, it would be like, girl, you got a good man. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, great.
Yeah.
No, do you realize I'm still a person?
Right.
Yeah. And I, you know, I have my own dreams, my own aspirations. And I think when it really clicked for me was after I had my daughter. Because I was like, I don't want her to ever be dependent on a man. I don't want that for her. You know, so I had to show her that, yes, you can have a family. Yes, you can have a husband. But yes, you are still you.
Yeah, you can still love yourself and you can, and you still deserve your own happiness.
Yeah.
You know, so I love the fact that you guys both are like, yes, we do have, they're amazing providers, but I need some more. I need some emotional support. You got to realize that I also have dreams. And so I think that's because I think our culture, especially African-American culture, that was really the way that a lot of people felt like, as long as he provides, you shouldn't have any complaints. And it's like,
it's like we're supposed to be so grateful. And it's like, I said, I appreciate everything my husband does for me. And it's like, well, are y'all out here telling these men how grateful they should be that they have these wives that are bearing their children and taking care of them? Like it is not my duty to do that. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that gratitude needs to come on both ends of the spectrum. And we need to stop making Black women feel like, you know, if we have a man that works hard, then we've hit this jackpot of a huge prize or whatever it is. Like
she should, like, it is like she should be so grateful that he girl, he works and he comes home, and that's
Right,
it.
right. It's like, so yeah, there's another part, I think, at the part 2, when Quick is like telling Jamie that I've told him before, like, you're not getting a pat on the back for being a good dad. My husband, I mean, Quick still does this now to some days. He'll be like, oh, I signed Ashley's permission slip.
Okay.
Okay, like, what, sir? Like, okay, great. Oh, I was just telling you. Like, I mean, it's like you want a pat on the back for doing very simple things that you are supposed to do.
Right. Now it's dad responsibility. It's
Right.
not I watch the kids. No.
Right. Oh my God. I hate when people say like a father is watching the children.
Yes. I've even heard people say
Are you also paying him? Right. Are you also paying him to do so? Because what?
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I want to take a little bit of a pivot because one of the things that was very clear is you and Quick are definitely on the same page. You guys came together and sat to, you had each other's back the entire time. And of course, the audience, Twitter and everything was responding to the issues with Wynter. And really, it seemed like Quick and Jamie, which is more so Quick. First of all, why do you think Wynter had such an issue, from calling him fun size to allegations that she would not produce but continue to suggest?
Yeah, I think that a lot of it stems from the vegan dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But even at the vegan dinner, after the vegan dinner, she repeatedly said to me, like, I'm fine that you ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, your delivery was a little harsh or whatever. And I apologize for my delivery being harsh. We filmed that in January.
Mm-hmm.
In January, I apologized. I'm done. I'm not apologizing anymore. I told you, let's move on.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about your husbands anymore. Let's move on. So when she and Monique had their dinner and Monique came back and, she told us, I was literally like, well, when I met up with this woman, this is not how this went down. She did not come to me, with, oh, I know about your husband, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I wouldn't have never said that. And then in the next breath, it was like, well, are you sure? Do you want to go find proof? Like stuff like that. So it was like, okay, now you really got a problem when you got an issue with me. And one thing with me, I done already told you, all right, I apologize. Let's move forward. You don't want to do it. You want a mean girl.
But she accused you of being the mean girl.
Exactly. So I'm like, if you want that from me, here you go. Now you got it.
You can get
it. You got it. Okay. You asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Granted. So it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I was so frustrated because there are multiple scenes that I say, like, me and Wynter don't get along. She don't like me. That's fine. I don't want to be around her.
Mm-hmm.
But then every damn week, here I am having to be around her. And I'm like, please stop. Like, because guess what? Now that I know that you don't like me, now I'm going to irritate your soul.
Right. I was trying to figure out, but why though? Like, I don't understand.
I still do not know. In all honestly, I mean, I don't know what's in her brain and her mind. Yeah. In all honesty, I feel like she wanted a moment.
Okay.
And I feel like that from the first day I met her. When I met her at Monique's event, she was not cast to be on the show. Mm-hmm. When she opened up about her first marriage, and then even after that, she and I had like a sidebar talk, and she was like, "Oh, I'm married now, but I'm going through a divorce. I've only been married for 6 months. Girl, we'll all have to get together for lunch. We're all still mic'd up while she's saying this." Mm-hmm. My best friend I literally was like, "That bald head girl, she will be on the show." I literally said that to her. Exactly. Yeah. So after that, it was like, okay, after I said I was tired of talking about her husbands, it's like, if she don't get to talk about that, what else can she talk about? Yeah. So it's like, okay, let me come for you. My husband, outside of Monique and Chris, is the most popular person on the cast. Mm-hmm. Everybody in DC knows my husband, knows about him, has heard of him in some way. It's an easy target, I felt like. I told her before, I don't know anything about your husbands because I've never heard of them. Even the one that played football, I've never heard his name before. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and then I feel like, I don't know. Then it went on to Jamie. But like you said at the reunion, oh no, she made it clear it's more so for Quick.
It was definitely for Quick. It was definitely for Quick. I have a couple of questions on that. Do you think, first of all, if because I'm sure with him being in the field that he is, there are probably lots of women that have tried to come to you and say things about him. You mentioned that.
No, that is the funniest thing. I've never had a woman come to me and say anything. All what I've had is, and when I say rumors, this is the extent of rumors. Fake pages will say your husband is cheating on you. Like literally, that's what it'll say. Or I won't get people who like I was said on the reunion, like quick takes pictures with people in the club. People like if somebody posted, I don't care. Like that's his job. And what people don't realize is that he's a local celebrity. Like his job is to go out and entertain, and Quick is very friendly with everybody.
Right.
He takes the pictures, he buys drinks, like that's his job.
Right.
Like so no woman has ever come to me. I've never had a Barbara and a Shirley moment.
Shirley moment. Right.
Ever. No, I've never had
that. Is good. First of all, that's great because there are a lot of women with far less popular husbands having
and we had so much stuff that was edited out. And I've said that before. I said, girl, she wanted to make it seem like, well, he's a DJ in the club. Girl, the damn milkman in the neighborhood could be fucking around. The mailman, the man Quick always say, the manager at CVS is probably the worst motherfucker on the earth. Okay.
That's real though, because I mean, it doesn't, it just access is one thing, but I mean, you have access to the guy at UPS, the UPS man, whoever. Exactly. So, okay. So that's a good thing. Cause I was like, she's probably used to this and not.
No. And I think, and that's why, and I was, we have a group chat with the ladies that are on the show, minus Wynter. And I said that to them. Like, I think that's why I was getting so angry with her. Like, I've never had anyone physically, personally come to me and say these kind of things ever. Yeah. It's usually cutie candy 12734 with 0 followers on Instagram that'll send me something. Like, I was like, that's why I was so irritated. I've never had experienced that before.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let me ask you this, because a lot of Twitter people on Twitter felt like Quick was because he was very upset, and he was, you guys were both going back and forth with Wynter. Do you think that the conversation should have stayed between the two of you? Or do you think that he was right in kind of, checking her and going in on her? Because
I do wish Quick would have chilled out on her. As you saw there, I kept putting my hand up, like, for him to be quiet, for him to stop. But for clarity, there was something that happened outside of our show on Instagram with her and a guy who keeps talking about me, who has mentioned my name. And that is what Quick was referring to. So if you listen at the part, Quick says, like, and because I'm like, tell that toothless man to keep my name out his mouth. And that's when Quick like gets really angry when I bring that up.
I was like, is that her boyfriend? Because you said it, I was like, is she talking about a guy that she's seeing, or what? Who is this guy? Who is this toothless guy?
Who is this toothless guy, child? We still trying to figure it out, because apparently, according to him, he's saying he knows me and he knows Quick, and neither one of us have ever seen this man in our lives. So he's been on her Instagram live with her a few times, like saying this. So that is who Quick is like referring to when he's getting upset and angry. It wasn't necessarily at Wynter, but she was the only one sitting there. So I was not happy about how angry he got. And then I know this is a show, this is reality TV. People are going to interpret it however they want to interpret it. So everybody's like, a hit dog will holler. Why would he get so upset if it's not true? Well, even if he was getting upset to that, if somebody is out here going to keep telling me I'm cheating on my husband and I know I'm not, but so many times I'm gonna be calm, like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And mind you, like I said, we've been dealing with this since January. We filmed our reunion in June. So this is 6 months of this. And it's like, this is the first time Quick has ever said something to her. Like, you've had so much to say about me, lady. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah, I was going to ask that. Have they had that? Because it did seem like it had built up, and the reunion was the opportunity for him to actually respond. And there were a lot of comments like, that it seemed like he was just very aggressive with her. But
I mean, he was upset. You're coming for his marriage, and he has every right to defend his marriage. But again, like I said, I wish he would have just let me handle it, because I was doing a very fine job by myself.
You were aggressive Ashley.
Exactly.
Right. last two questions about Wynter. I think, what do you make of her all of a sudden deciding that she's not a relationship coach? She's spiritual.
I think she decided that night when that episode aired.
Okay.
And that everybody felt how I felt.
Yeah. Well, we saw the clips of her saying she was a relationship coach over and over and over, and even Monique was like, "Well, that's what I know you as."
The entire time we filmed, she was a relationship coach, but all of a sudden, the night this episode aired, she tweeted that she was not a relationship coach.
Do you think that?
And she hadn't been one for a while, which is crazy because we had just filmed that about 2-3 months earlier.
Yikes.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that she's just trying to get a slot on the show?
Not even towards the end. From the very beginning, I felt like that. Yeah, like I said, when she first came in, and I told you, yeah, I felt like that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And if I was a producer, I would have definitely wanted her on the show as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, to have the, I don't want to say balls, I guess, but to kind of go at these couples, these long-standing couples, probably did provide some entertainment. It definitely was entertaining, but I just wondered where the motivation was.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertainment, but at the same time, it's our real lives. And I think what also bothered me is things that, like I said, that you guys didn't see when she talked about her first marriage. I told her, I was like, that is terrible. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I would never wish that on anybody. Like, I'm sure that was hurtful. Like all of these things I said to her. And then here she is like trying to tear my marriage down. And I was like, oh okay. This is the game you want to play?
A lot of people have said there may be some jealousy because, you guys are in these long-standing marriages.
I mean, it could be. I don't want to put that on anybody and be like, oh, they're jealous. I don't know. I don't know what's in her head. I honestly do not know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on. Let's move on. Out of the other couples, we know that Monique, Chris, and Quick are have some similarities. Are there do you feel like you guys are most similar, I guess, to that dynamic, or Arena and Jamie? Like, where do you see?
I feel like we're somewhere in the middle. I think we are our own. You know what? Maybe we're not. I just think we all are very different couples. Honestly, I think we are also different. We are Quick and Ash. I mean, it's literally we're the marriage middle couple, but the similarities in the begin very surface, that Monique is now finding her way and, coming from a man who was very financially providing. Jamie and Arena, they both, Jamie's in the nightlife too. So that was where our similarities drew from that. Other than that, I don't feel like there's a lot of other marriage similarities. Yeah.
Was there anything, because there were a lot of comments on Monique and Chris, especially like how she talked to him throughout the season, and then even with Jamie and Arena, a lot of people were concerned, like, is he abusive? Like, he just it was a lot on both sides. Was there anything that you saw from those other couples that you thought, when that you didn't know until you actually saw the episode air, that you thought, wow, that's a little bit much, or I didn't know that was going on?
It was things I felt like I didn't know that was going on because, like you said, we weren't there when they filmed like their one-on-one scenes or their family scenes, things like that. As far as Jamie and Arena and the abusiveness, I hated that people were saying that because I've never seen him act like that. Like I don't get that from him at all. And I've been around them multiple times. They're over here. Their kids come over. Like I don't see that.
Yeah.
So people take a little clip, like when he like does like this in her face or whatever, and it's like, okay, guys, it literally was 1.5 seconds. He didn't slap her across her face. He did. It literally was like okay, let's stop. And it was a one, but on camera it can be slowed down, and now it's intense music behind it, and zooming in on everybody's face, and so I hated that. As far as Monique and Chris, I do feel like I think Chris loves Monique.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so evident. And I know Monique loves him too. But I think that he's trying. And again, he wasn't a man who had to show a lot of emotion. He wasn't a man that had to do much because I am the provider. And now he's learning how to live on the other side of that. And it's something to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Monique's, I guess, delivery and tone.
Yeah.
Have been something that a lot of people have had an issue with.
Yeah.
But I think, I had to ask myself, even when I was watching certain scenes, and I was like, that's a little bit much. We have kind of been programmed to, girl, you got it good. You should just be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, like I said, I've been there before. I've had those conversations. The only difference is mine weren't on TV. I've had those conversations. And when people say, well, you're nagging because you're asking over and over again, because a lot of the times, and I've been in that situation where my husband is like, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on it. And then it doesn't change. So I have to bring it back up.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds like I'm nagging, but I'm not. I'm telling you what I want and what I need from you. The same way you get to tell me what you want and need from me, I get to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I guess when a woman holds a man accountable, it sounds different because we have a different way.
Yeah.
So I think people kind of were responding to that. I want to ask you really quickly about, because you've been very candid about the fact that you were diagnosed with depression, and I think so many women, especially, you kind of give up yourself, right? For husband, kids, work, friends, everything. And we think it's like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm being a good wife, I'm being a good mom, being a good friend. And then I deplete myself. And that does lead to depression. So what are how did you pull out of that? And what advice would you give to other women that may be in that going through that same cycle of trying so hard to give, basically to prove that they're doing a good job, and in the middle of that lose themselves?
Yeah. First off, I think being aware and seeing someone to get yourself diagnosed. A lot of times we go through these things and we just keep brushing them off. Like, it'll get better. I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad week, whatever. And these bad days and bad weeks keep coming. And then once you are officially diagnosed, do the work. Don't be afraid or ashamed to see a therapist. You're not ashamed to go to the doctor for any other ailment. Don't be ashamed and afraid to do that. If it's therapy that you need, get therapy. If you need to be on medication, do that. There are holistic approaches. There are physical approaches. For me, I know I had a time where I was working out like crazy and it just made me feel so much better, going for a walk, all of those things. And even now, there are days when I'll have bad days, but now I know how to work through them. Instead of like living in sadness, I know how to work through them. Yeah. And also, they can go pre-order my new book.
Okay.
It's called Do That Shit, which I talk a lot about how, I've worked through my own issues and my depression, my battle with depression. Nice. So yeah, I'm very open about it.
That's big, because I think, especially for our community, it's important for people to see people they can relate to, because the picture of what depression looks like doesn't look like a woman that looks, you look like a woman that has it all. She's beautiful.
And that's the thing. And then, even when we're watching these commercials, that's what it is. It's like some lady she has on gray and it's raining and it's an umbrella and she's
Yeah.
Right. And it's not like, that's not what depression looks like all the time. And there was a meme that was going around like with all these celebrities that have been diagnosed with depression and all these happy smiley faces. And I'm like, yes, that is the face of depression as well. A lot of us are hiding, are hiding it. So I want less people to hide and more people to get help.
Get help. We'll definitely have to share with people. Can you give us I'm sure people could go follow you on Instagram and get the information for the book, right?
You can get all the information on Instagram, but you can get the VIP bundle on ashleybrittanysilva.com, and you can get the actual book on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and Books A Million.
Very nice. Well, I'm sure you'll be going on a tour, so we'll have to catch up with you then. What would you tell yourself? Because I think when you look now, and that's the beauty of being able to stay in something, you can look back and see where you might have made some mistakes. You can help other people. What would you have told 23-year-old Ashley when she married quick? What would you do differently at that point that you think might have kept you from some of the sadness and some of the overwhelmed, feelings that you had to go through to get to the point that you are now?
I would tell myself to give myself grace, because I felt so often that because I was so young, because so many people didn't think that our marriage would last, that I had to overcompensate. I had to keep proving that I was a good mom. I had to keep proving I was a good wife, you know? And when I look back on it, I didn't have to prove that. I am a great mom. I'm a great wife. And I'm just getting to the point where I can, you know, give myself kudos. So I do it a lot. I'm one of the best moms that I know. And it's like, if I would have known that about myself then, it's like you killing this mom game. You don't have to try so hard. Like you're killing this wife thing. Like you don't have to prove anything to anybody. I wish I could go back and tell myself that.
Yeah,
and it's okay to take a break, and it's okay to do stuff for yourself, and it doesn't make you a bad mom or wife.
Yeah, because all you feel mom guilt, like if you do something nice for yourself.
Yeah.
So where are you and Quick now? It seems like you guys are in a great place. I think you guys are absolutely adorable. Where are you guys in your relationship? It also feels like there's been a shift, and he's kind of like, you know, making sure that you're the one that's good. I know he said he loves being, you know, being Ashley's husband. Where are you guys at now?
Quick is a lot. But no, Quick and I are great. We're good a lot of the time, even it, you know, but is Quick still working as much? Yes, Quick's at work right now. That's not going to change. I don't, you know, I don't know what has to happen. We needed to win that $1 billion Mega Millions last week. That probably would be the only thing that could get him to ever slow down and work. And even then, he would still go to work.
I wanted to ask you, like, would you have been okay with him slowing down and maybe not having some of the financial benefit? Would you have sacrificed some of the finance to have him at home?
And no, because I mean, financially, we are in a good space. We own businesses, you know, like, but Quick loves to be busy. Like, I don't know. That's what I said. Even if we had $1 billion right now, Quick would still find a party to do.
It's his identity, probably. Like, you know, Michael Jordan went to play golf, you know, just like, what are you doing?
Right. I mean, because it's what he loves. But no, we are in a good space. You know, and I hope that resonated on TV, that even when we are having certain issues, that at the core of us, we are in a really good marriage.
Yeah. Well, I think people did see that. Any regrets or anything from the season? Anything you wish you would have done differently or would do differently when you guys come back for season 2? We're just going to put that in the air.
Yes, put that in the atmosphere. No, I don't really have any regrets. I don't really have any regrets. No, you know, it was a learning curve. You know, that been our first season. But kind of once we were in it, we were in it. I don't regret anything. I don't think I would have said or done anything differently.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we definitely are going to get our Do That Shit. I love the title of the book. Love that. And I'm sure that, I mean, there's a lot of women, especially the demographic that loves this show, loves this, you know, this franchise, really can relate to all the marriages and the different things. And we appreciate the fact that you guys are definitively showing Black love in a real way. That's important for people to see. So thank you so much for hanging out with us here on a Friday night. We're definitely waiting to hear the announcement for Love and Marriage DC.
We're waiting too, girl.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, Ashley. We look forward to hearing more from you soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out on a Friday night. As always, right here, Reality Check. What a great interview and just good information for those of you. It doesn't have to be a wife. You could be a mother. You could be a sister, a family. Just sometimes we get so overwhelmed giving to others and we forget to keep our own cups full. So make sure you take a cue from Ashley and do that shit, right? Well, again, thanks for hanging out. This is going to be an amazing weekend. I will be back on Monday at 8 p.m. with more Reality Check right here on Rolling Out, or of course on YouTube. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe so other people can hear it as well. And we'll see you right back here Monday at 8. All right. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.